Okay, part C, writing a polynomial function from its zeros. So steps. 1, we're going to write/identify the zeros. So if it gave us a graph, then we would identify. Step 2, we're going to write them as linear factors, so a binomial. So we're going to write, following this rule, x minus the constant, and the c is your given root. So the root that they give you. Okay, and then we're going to multiply the factors to get together and simplify. So it said, what is the cubic polynomial function in standard form with zeros, -2, 2, and 3? So step 1 is done. Identified, found them. Step 2 is to write them as linear factors. As linear factors, it says x minus c. Okay, your c again are my zeros, my roots that are being given to me. So my first one that I have is x minus -2. And a negative times a negative makes a positive. So that's that factor. Next, I have x minus 2. That works out just fine. And I have x minus 3. And that works out just fine. Okay. Step 3 is to multiply them. So to find the polynomial, I got to multiply them. So I have x minus 2 times x minus 3 times x plus 2. Didn't want to write them in that order, so I can use a property. Let's try that again. X minus 2 and x plus 2, x minus 3. Okay, if we look right here at x minus 2 and x plus 3, from our recall of factoring, these are the results of that you get from a difference of 2 squares. This is the result, difference of 2 squares. And that just means I have to square the values here, your x and your 2. So this came from x squared minus 4. Okay? And now I have to multiply that by x minus 3. I'm just going to use our good old-fashioned friend. So then x squared times x is x cubed. X squared times -3 is -3x squared. -4x. And a negative times a negative is a positive. So we end up with our polynomial is, drum roll, x cubed minus. So, no, it's just x cubed minus. Yes. Minus 3x squared minus minus 4x plus 12. Yay! Okay. All right. So using what we just did on example 5, I'd like for you to take a moment and pause and try it on example 6. All right. Thank you for pausing and coming back. So step 1 is identified. Step 2 is to write them as linear factors. So I have x minus -2. And I have 2 -2's, so this is an x minus -2 squared, which gives me x plus 2 squared. Because a negative times a negative is a positive. And I have x minus 2, and I have x minus 3. So here are all my linear factors based off what I have. Okay, and again, this was squared because there are 2 roots equal to -2, or zeros, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so step 3 is where we multiply. So I have x plus 2 squared times x minus 2 times x minus 3. Multiplication-wise, x plus 2 squared is going to make x squared plus 4x plus 2. Because all I'm doing is doubling this term and plus 2 plus 4 and squaring it. 2 doubled is 4, 2 squared is 4. Okay, so I have this now, and I'm going to multiply x minus 2 and x minus 3. So that gives me x squared minus 5x plus 6. And now I have a trinomial times a trinomial. We'll define that. Okay, remember you either can do vertical, then horizontal, traditional multiplication, or you can do the box. So I have x squared times x squared, gives me x cubed. Gives me x to the 4th. X to the 4th. Then we have x squared times negative 5x. That gives me negative 5x cubed. And then we have x squared times 6. And x squared times 6 is 6x squared. Okay. Now we're going to do the next term. So 4x times x squared is 4x cubed. Notice how I'm lining it up with this like term. 4x times negative 5x is negative 20x squared. 4x times 6 is 24x. Okay. And then I still have one term that has not been distributed. So I have 4 times x is 4x squared. 4 times negative 5 is negative 20x. And 4 times 6 is 24. I don't know why I wrote that so far over. All right, now I'm going to combine all my like terms to get my final product. So x to the 4th comes on down to x to the 4th. We have negative 5x cubed and 4x cubed, which makes a negative 1x cubed. We have 6 minus 20, which gives us negative 14. And then plus 4 gives us negative 10. And then we have 24 minus 20x. It's just going to leave it as 4x, and 24 just goes 1. So this time is a little longer. It told us it was going to be a quartic, but here's our quartic. Ta-da! Skills you already have. Okay? All right. Now, you should be able to complete your exit ticket before the end of the day. Okay?